Hi, it's Wayne from howtofish.com.au and today I'm fishing Point Fairy. Never fished here before, looks fantastic. I mean, the conditions, great for a picnic, maybe not for fishing, but who cares? Such a beautiful setting here on this estuary. See what we can catch today. The Moyne River flows through the western districts of Victoria. It ends up in Port Fairy, and as you can see by the beautiful colour here, it's got some depth. It's been dredged over time to make sure that boat traffic can travel through there. It empties into Port Fairy Bay, which is part of Bass Strait. Well, I've got a bit of burley into the area now. I had a few casts in, got some burley happening. The bites are quite ferocious, you get a dip in the rod very quickly, quite a big dip, showing that it's a good bite, but hooking into the fish is really difficult. So I've got to hold the rod, and it can be quite a while between bites, so you're never really fully prepared to actually strike into it. So it's one of those times of concentration and holding the rod, and having a light rod like this really helps a lot because you can feel everything on it. I don't expect the fish to be that big in here, so light line, everything is making things much more natural. When I come to a new place for the first time, usually I don't know what the fish are going to be doing. I don't know if there's going to be lots of fish or how they'll bite. So typically I'll start with my survival pack gear. So that is just simply the running burley cage. Okay, this is a 40-gram burley cage because the water's not flowing that fast, and I'm using a very light rod. That's to a line stop. Okay, the burley cage is connected with a snap swivel, and that goes down to a short and very light pre-stretched trace. So this is a finer line than my main line, and what that does is that it makes it very, very natural for the bait on the bottom. I got a very small bait and a small hook, size 14 hook, my survival pack, and that's what I'll start with when I think that the conditions might be tough because of the weather here. Great picnic day, high barometric pressure, not necessarily the best for fishing. So what I've got to do is I've got to go with those techniques and tackle that will get even the pickiest fish to want to have a go at your bait. As per usual, when I'm casting in, I use a marker on the other side of the river. So in this case, it was a tree, so that I can build burley up in one spot and attract the fish. And most of the time when you're using burley, the first fish that you get are usually fairly small. Okay, first fish of the day is the smallest flathead in the world. So it can be done. You can catch the smallest fish in the world if you do it properly. Okay, finally got something that's a little bit better. I haven't struck into it, so I might lose it. See, feels like a little bream. Nah, little Tommy Rough. Now I got a succession of these juvenile salmon, and what I was doing is I was just slaughtering them back, but after a while this cormorant came along and just sat beside me, or stood beside me as it was, and when I was throwing those fish back, the last one I threw back, it went straight after. Anyway, I tried to throw them in different areas to avoid it, but eventually I caught a small bream. I tried to throw it in while the cormorant wasn't looking, and the cormorant went straight in after it and caught it. Now I was really surprised at how fast these things can swim underwater. I actually followed it with my camera, and I actually had to speed up to keep up with it while it swam. No wonder it can catch as many fish as it likes. Got another one, but it's only small again. My goodness. Oh, they're not getting any bigger. Well, they're not getting any bigger.
Now, while I didn't catch any big fish on the day, I went the next morning and caught this beautiful 36 centimeter bream. Caught it on the same light gear. You can see the small hook using the same bait. I was just using chicken, using it in one of my dips, the spicy chicken dip, and that worked really well. And of course, using burley and my survival pack worked well, brought the fish in. But it's not just the fishing at Port Fairy, it's also the scenery. So as you travel along that part of the country, you will see the most magnificent coastlines possible. We have incredibly rugged coastline with great elevation, cliff faces, deep water, and of course this was at the 12 Apostles. It is a magnificent coastline, well worth seeing, and if you're an angler, this is the place to go. There is some incredible fishing to be had. It's not just the coastline that's incredible, it's also some of the animal life. And this seal here at times would be fed by some of the fishermen coming back in their boats. Right here it had been given a fish, and it, as you can see, is just trying to actually tear it apart so that it can actually swallow it easily. Incredible to watch. There's some very big stingrays along the coastline, especially wherever there are fishermen. As they throw their baits in, as they throw fish back, these things are swimming along and scooping up anything that's left on the bottom. Absolutely fascinating to watch.
If you've liked this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and any of the fishing gear, the techniques that I'm using, go to my website, howtofish.com.au. See you next time.